good afternoon on this lovely, peaceful afternoon, which is now cooler than I think any Woodfords than I've remembered, and it's a pleasure, isn't it? So the guest speaker we have this afternoon is no stranger to Woodford. In fact, he was at the very last Mullaney Woodford Festival and the very first Woodford Festival here. He knew Bill well, and he's very familiar with our whole layout here. He guides people and organisations in their journey of reconciliation and cultural awareness. So he's a fervent champion of the Whadjuk and Noongar people and shares his profound knowledge of languages and practices and also historic injustices. He's a musician and an artist, and he and Ernie Dingo created a ceremony to welcome a group of Maori and Cook Islanders to Australia. And this evolved then into the development of the modern Aussie Welcome to Country. So he's right back in the development of Indigenous culture as it's in the past and also as it's evolving in our country. He has an honorary doctorate and is West Australian Citizen of the Year, and he's also a state living treasure. So we are very lucky, and please give a warm welcome to Dr. Richard Wally.
Sure. Thank you very much. First of all, don't get comfortable, because this is going to be participation, not lecturing, it'll be participation. So I'd like to first pay tribute to the Janabarri people and the land we gather on, and to ancestors. We're going to do some workshops. We've only got 1 hour. First of all, to make sure this microphone works. Check, 1, 2. We don't do checks or cash anymore. It's all credit and swipes. But we're going to have 3 groups. I want you to grab your chair. We're going to form 3 circles. One circle's going to be over here, and this circle is going to be the past. So I want a group of people who like history and historians and what's happened in the past. This is where they're going to gather. We've only got 1 minute to do it, to bring your chair into that place. Then we have the present at the back. So over here is gathering those who are in the present. And all the future planners, those who want to talk about the future, we've got them over here. So if you can get yourself into those 3 groups, we're going to have this little talking conversation. Past, present, future. And if anyone's coming in to join in after, just bring them in and bring them up to speed. So. And we have people in this area that's looking after us. Once you got in your circle, you got 2 minutes to introduce yourselves around why you picked that. We'll make it 4 minutes. We'll go this because we've got bigger groups. In 4 minutes, introduce why you're in the past, why you're in the present, why you're in the future. 1 sentence. This is why I'm in the past, and introduce yourself so you get to know each other. So I got that for 4 minutes. It's a talking conversation around there. If anyone else comes in, I'm going to direct them to your groups. 4 minutes. So we've got talking circles here, past, present, future, and if you want to have a talk in those circles, you're welcome. Welcome in. We've got talking circles. You're ready to join. This is the past, historians, the present, those who are in the moment, and the future planners. So you can just put up a chair and any of those can join in. You're welcome to participate. Past, present, future. Please come through if you want to join the group. We've got 3 talking circles, past, present, future. So if you want to talk about the past, the present or the future, please join one of those circles. One more minute and we're going to change this conversation. Thank you very much. This is not like speed dating, it's actually conversation, get to know each other. Now we're going to go into another 3 conversation pieces. Got birds. Hands up for the birds. Where the birds going? Over here. All the birds are over here. So you can go to another group if you're a bird. Amphibians. Amphibians are over here. Birds, amphibians, reptiles. So you can change your circle now. Birds, amphibians, reptiles. Tell people why you're in that circle and what brought you to be that part. Reptiles, amphibians and birds. One circle may be larger than the other, that's okay.
Yeah, I know, I was told to.
5 minutes. Got 5 minutes to have a conversation around. Looks like I've got a big conversation over here. 5 minutes, tell people why you are in that circle and what animal, what bird, what reptile, what amphibian. Introduce yourself, which one and why. One you can identify with or associate with or like. We've got talking circles here that people are well to join in. We've got birds, reptiles, amphibians. The reptiles up the front. We've got two chairs there, hop in. One more minute, then we're going to change again. How are we going, birds? We need a little bit more time, 2 more minutes? Oh, 2 more left, thank you. Give me a thumbs up when you're done, because that's the biggest group.
How much does that set you back? $20 or something? Have you got coffee or something?
Thank you, we're going to wind that up. Now, we've got the 3 circles again. We've got the water over here, rivers, oceans, water, trees. Trees are here, and the deserts over here. Water, trees, desert. You're doing fantastic. You got the hang of it now. You know what we're doing. Water, trees and desert. Same process, the conversation of why you're there and what attracts you to that part. So the tree people, you're the biggest group. When you've all done, give me a thumbs up. So the desert, you've got to do a couple of rounds. You've got an exclusive group there. The question is what attracts you, which particular tree, which particular part of the desert, what part of the water? Is it a lake, is it an ocean, it's a river? What are you connected to and why?
Tray of my grandmother's island. It's very important to me. It's terrible French chips out.
One more minute, so you can final comments. 1 more minute. Just someone will have a second say or a roundup of something. So you've got 1 minute to do it. Thank you. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. One more circle. One more circle. Gonna have over here. We're gonna have music, dance, stories. Music, dance, stories. This is the last one. Then we're gonna bring it together and have a wind up. Music, dance, story. So music over there, dance here, stories over there. Conversation about what drew you to that genre. If you're a musician, you're a storyteller, you're a dancer, you admire it, someone's inspired you, the conversation's yours. There's no specific, it's your conversation to have about that topic. 5 minutes. 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes.
Otherwise, it's a really long day for you. You've been here since 5.
Yeah, I think when I think of the last Woodford, the first Woodford, like this was a big thing. Like since a young child, I would always parents brought me to kind of invent the I find that unbelievable how long I can go on without hearing stories. And how this music very
Yeah, this is all this year. Yeah, this guy gave
One more minute. How are we going? 1 minute's okay for everyone? Okay, 1 more minute. Thank you. Fantastic. Now we've got just under 14 minutes. So what we're going to do now is all come to the front. So bring the chairs up. Right. No, I was a bit ahead of myself. Yeah, all come to the front because we're going to just talk about what we've done.
So do you want us to sit?
Sit, yes, please. Take a seat. Thanks to the facilitator, that was brilliant. You did well. Once you got, you owned that story, which is really good, the process. I'm just going to do a couple of wrap-ups before I need some volunteers to join me. That's why I got this stand mic, because they're going to do some actions and put those into actions. In our culture is different to the Western way of learning and education. We have passive learning. Now, each of you know in the world we have stress learning. It's stress when you have to have an assignment in on a deadline. That gives you stress. You're going for your driver's license. It's stress. There's stress learning, and in that way you learn to do. Is that fair enough? You learn to do. In our culture, you do to learn. You participate. Everyone's important. This process is very important because it's no good getting to hear what my philosophy is if you're not in tune with each other and get to know a little bit about yourselves. So this process brings everyone into the conversation. So you've just participated in a traditional way of linking. It doesn't matter who's going to report about the birds, who's going to report about them. The conversation was around that circle. And what you're doing is you're taking your conversation back to another circle. When you do this later, we go back to the original one, past, present, future, and we have a talk about the past on those subjects. Where are the birds? Where's the stories? Where's the music? Then we have that talk about where we are at the present and forward projections. So you get the concept and the process of that is participating, and we engage and encourage the collective consciousness. So the collective consciousness becomes very important. I'm going to do one more little exercise before I add some questions for you, because I'll leave some time for questions and answers. So I'll probably need about, I reckon, let me see how long we've got, not long. I need about, I reckon, 10 volunteers who are going to come to the front and just stand up. Just 10 volunteers who can have some fun to finish up with some physical fun. Okay, you're going to be facing me, just spread out a little bit. That's it. Now to do a warm-up, I want you to just have 2 words to participate. I'll share a song with you with those 2 words. And this is just to warm you up, so get ready for the next part. And while you're getting warmed up, we've got 6 here, so there's room for a couple more. So all you have to do in your group now is just say 2 words, and this is in Jung for me, it's Jinningen Bo. Jinningen is looking in the distance, and Bo is a long way. Jinningen, I'm looking a long way on a hill. So when we're standing on a hill, we sing where we're going from there to the next high point. So it's high point to high point. The rivers in between, the rocks, the trees, the formations. And if it's on a day that something happened, like there was a kangaroo there or there was an emu, you'd sing that into the song. So our song lines, we had 2 parts to the song lines. One part, of course, is the verse and the other is the chorus. And the chorus held the foundation. We all know choruses of songs, but the verses get us going. So we can hum and ah, and when the chorus comes in, we can all sing. So that's where the foundation is. So I want you to just participate with me for just 2 words. Just go, Jinningen Bo, Jinningen Bo, Jinningen Bo, Jinningen Bo, Jinningen Bo, Jinningen Bo. Get that breath in. Go, Jinningen Bo, Jinningen Bo, Jinningen Bo. Get that ah in well. Jinningen Bo. That's it. Keep it going. Jinningen bo, kara munda, jinningen bo, kara kumba, jinningen bo, ngara buja, jinningen bo, jinningen bo, jinningen bo, jinningen bo, jinningen bo, nganya buja, jinningen bo, nyunga buja, jinningen bo, kopen buja, jinningen bo, jinningen bo, jinningen bo, jinningen bo, jinningen bo, nganya kuling, jinningen bo, Jenna kuling, jinningen bo, ngala buja, jinningen bo, 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 jinningen bo. Thank you. Now, I'm going to do a little song, and we're going to do the actions, and we're going to see you can keep up with the actions. So it's not a competition, just enjoy it. If you get lost halfway through, wait till the end and do. Okay, so this is the one where we're learning to do and doing to learn at the same time. We're going to do both. Here we go. Start the action. There's a lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a lake at the bottom. There's a lake at the bottom. There's a lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a rock by the lake. There's a rock by the lake. There's a rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a doe on the rock. There's a doe on the rock. There's a doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a pouch on the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a pouch on the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a pouch on the doe. There's a pouch on the doe. There's a pouch on the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a joey in the pouch. There's a joey in the pouch. There's a joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a nose on the joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a nose on the joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a nose on the joey. There's a nose on the joey. There's a nose on the joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a fly on the nose of the joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. The fly on the nose of the joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's a fly on the nose. There's a fly on the nose. There's a fly on the nose of the joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's wings on the fly on the nose of the joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. Wings on the fly of the nose of the joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of a tree. There's wings on the fly. There's wings on the fly. There's wings on the fly of the nose of the joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's germs on the wings of the fly on the nose of the joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. Germs on the wings of the fly on the nose of the joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. There's germs on the wings. There's germs on the wings. There's germs on the wings of the fly on the nose of the joey in the pouch of the doe on the rock by the lake at the bottom of the tree. Thank you. Thank you. Now I've got, I think I've got 10 minutes, 5 minutes. 5 minutes for questions. 5 minutes for some nice, easy questions, please. That story, I combined that one, that little story, because I normally do it with music and we do that, but that little story is about, it's a little tongue twister about there's a log at the bottom of the sea and there's a lot of different versions of it, but it's bringing together that story, music, animal, place, tree, lake. So what we did in those workshops, we covered a bit of past, present, future, trees, animals. So I just put that into a song that covered a lot. And thank you very much.
Is that how people learn songlines, so that they can move around the country and know what is significant?
You sing place. That's where you're singing about place. We're singing from the hills. The ginning and bows are singing from country. That's singing us from place to place. But there's many different song lines, and it's a complexity of the song lines. It's not just a map, a direction. It's also association. It's that totem system. When you spoke in those circles, you're talking as a collective. It's like getting your totem. It's like getting, what is that similar totem we have. So in our families, we have our family connects, but we also have our totem connects. So in my family, if I'm talking about someone else's family, I'm also talking about them in the totemic system as well. So if I am talking about someone who's a possum person, one of my children are possum people. So because they are possum connected, if I'm talking about that person who's a possum connect, I'm talking about my son as well. So you can see that that's how we have cohesion. So in this country, we were blended. You see, notice I spoke, all our presentations are about place, plant, animals before I got to the music and the dance where the people are last. Because all those places, plants, animals influence us as people, then people influence each other. It is handed down by those associations, yes. And each area have different ways of doing it, which is really good. Okay, got a question, Lisa?
The relationship between western latitude and longitude.
Oh, longitude, latitude. Oh, yes. The culture is science. We run from I can talk to you about the indigenous science, but that'll take longer. But the answer does that way, because what you have is magnetic fields and forces, and the world is based on the magnetic forces and fields, and there's positives and negatives. So in our culture, we'll sing where the positives and negatives are and their connections. Challenge for us is that the magnetic fields are going from streams that go through lines that are connected through mostly rock. So you know the magnetic field will go through rocks. So if you've got a lot of rocks that are magnetised, they're mostly in the outer areas, not on the oceans. So the river mouths and the oceans is where we've created magnetic fields, because we put up these buildings, because you take an iron ore and places like that from outside here and you're putting it back over to another area. You're changing the magnetic fields. And that's science, and I don't want to get too much into the science there, but it is based on those lines. So when you sing from one hill to another, you can imagine if that hill is significant because it's got magnetic forces and it's got the hill, but it's also a value. But you take that hill away, you've taken that magnetic force away and you've shifted it somewhere else. So I don't want to get too far into the political side, but that gives you an idea of if you take a hill, you create a different song line. If a tree is gone, and you spoke about trees, if you're a custodian of that tree and that all becomes an asset, you've got a problem. Like we had the jarrah and the she oaks, which are very prominent in our countries. They become a very good asset because for people who are in the timber industry, but that's someone's totem, so that you can see the challenges we have in that. So that's why we do this exercise, because everyone's got to connect. But unfortunately, I've run out of time.
I've got it wrong. You've got another 15 minutes.
Oh, I've got another 15 minutes. I've got it wrong. Okay. I've got a couple of more questions. Thank you for participating in that exercise. That was absolutely brilliant, and that was really good. And the smaller groups here, got a question?
Who's
your mob?
Who's my mob?
Okay.
Good question. I'm a Nyungar from the southwest of Western Australia. I've also got Yamaji connection, which is in the Murchison area. So it's the west of the southwest of Western Australia. We have a biodiversity hotspot. Nyungar is a big clan. We've got 14 different sections within the Nyungar nation. So we have sort of a Nyungar nation with 14 states. And the dialects are a little different, but it's the one language that links us together. It's a large language. And Nyungar is also a language. The Wangin spoken is the English. The language is Nyungar. So we say Nyungar Wangin. That's the speaking of the Nyungar language. I could probably move this time here to probably do a couple of songs again for you, and that'll wind us up nicely. I'll do this other one here. I normally play didgeridoo, and I'll give you just a bit of fun, just to put some stuff in. I turned up to a presentation once, and they said, "We got you down playing a didgeridoo." I said, "Well, I didn't bring one." They said, "Well, they're expecting one." I said, "Okay, just give me the microphone." I'm not going to do that for 15 minutes. So I'll finish up by doing a song for you. This is a sharing of food one. It's called Ngarni Nye.
Ngani kopen ye ngala kuling ye ba min jil jit ngani ye ngan mul bujung ngani ye ngani kopen ye ngala kuling ye ba min yong ngani ye ngan mul bujung ngani ye kopen ngani ye gadin bujung ngani ye ngani kopen ye ngala kuling ye ba min jil jit ngani ye ngan mul bujung ngani ye. Thank you for participating in our workshops. It was a great little group and I hope you enjoyed it. Normally I talk a little bit more about some of the countries because I've performed in other people's countries. I did a workshop and a performance in East Berlin before the wall came down. We did a program called Didgeridoo in Deutschland with the wind quartet of the East Berlin Philharmonic. And I think that's on iView at the moment, you can see that. I was also blessed to do 6 series programs of food with a very famous chef called Antonio Coluccio, called 6 Seasons. So we did that as 6 seasons. I was very blessed to do some documentaries, and we also did another documentary called Tribal Scent, where we followed the perfume industry, where the sandalwood came out of the desert of Western Australia and finished up in Paris into the top perfume lines around different parts of the world. So there's a few documentaries if you want to follow up on some of the stories that we've been doing in the past. But that's me for this afternoon. I think we've got another 2 sessions, and my wife Robin will join me in the next couple of sessions. She's just testing if I got the quality control in hand at this one. I'll get the feedback. But thank you very much for participating. And I love that it was an intimate group, because this is really great. When you get big groups, you can imagine trying to do this with a full house. So thank you for your participation, because collectively, we made this happen. It's no good me standing up on a microphone preaching to people and telling people how things are done. It's more important that we get to know each other and collectively share those stories. So when we walk past each other there, we know that this person's a dance, this is a tree. We have an association, so we don't have any strangers anymore. We have connections, and we've made connections. So thank you very much for that. Mum and Jin, had a good spirit be with us. Take care. Bye.
What an enjoyable session that is. Let's get a much bigger, louder clap. You know, I've read quite a lot about songlines, but I've only understood them in theory. And now what we've had here is a bit of a feel as to how these connections work, how the songlines work, and how this ancient culture has been able to transfer so much knowledge through tens of thousands of years without the sort of written culture that we have in our Western country. And of course, the secret to that was making the learning fun. So it was the learning through doing, but also doing through learning. And while we were singing that song, everyone was giggling and laughing. Now, when you're learning and having fun, the kids want to come back and the adults want to come back, and I want some more of that. And no wonder this culture has been so successful. So that's given us that little bit of a taste. And because we were connecting, we felt less embarrassed if we couldn't get it right, because it was a safe and trusting environment. So I think we learnt a whole lot of lessons there about Indigenous education that we can certainly take into our community now, our wider community. So I don't know, Uncle Richard, if you can still hear us, but one more big shout so that he can hear us. And maybe, Robin, you'll pass on our good wishes if you didn't hear that. Thank you. Okay. So, in fact, while we're talking about thanking, while you're moving around here, and this seems like a nice time to talk about connecting, you know, there are 3,000 volunteers are working to make Woodford happen. So even right down to the, and I'll see if I can get the name right, the Intergalactic S Bend warriors are the people who've fixed the toilets